My final video is on the quiz capability of the program. And this is actually how the program started out. I just wanted something that mimicked flashcards using the computer just to help me remember things. And actually the initial program I used in my work to help me remember a lot of stuff that was pretty dry and hard to remember. There's not a lot of framework to it. Just had to remember a lot of stuff. So this is how the quiz works. First of all, you put in these the writing and the picture, and then you highlight certain sections, and they become part of the quiz. So there are several ways to use a quiz. The simplest way is what I call click for an answer. I usually start with that one. So that will X out those blue items, and then it's up to you to guess what they are. So for instance, this here impulse is, well, I think that should be an F. So let me click on it. Yes, it's an F. And I think that should be a DT. Let me click on it. It's a DT. And that is equal to the change in, so you guess first and then you click later, momentum. And the same with the rest of them. Let's go down here to thrust, see if I remember what thrust is. The thrust is defined as minus dm dt times u. There it is, aha. And the units are in newtons, that's a unit of force. And so on. And what down here? U is the velocity of the exhaust relative to the rocket. Kind of important to remember it's relative to the rocket. And one thing that was confusing me when I first did this was this dm. dm is a negative number. That's why we need the absolute value signs. So that's one way of using the quiz. Another way is to let's say click on table, and now it'll highlight certain things in the diagram. This part over here is called the diagram. This is called the table. So you gotta go over there and pick out what it is. So that again is going to be the F, and that's going to be dt. I got to pick it out over here on the table, dt, and that's the change in momentum, and so on. So that would be another way to use the quiz. And then there's another way to use it, and that's click on the diagram. So here on the table you're shown the F, and you got to go over here and find it in the diagram. So that F is here, and thrust times dt, where is that in the picture? Thrust times dt, I think that's down here, mdv. And it's not. Thrust times dt. Where is that? Maybe it's not there. I bet it's here. Yes, thrust times dt. And what is this? This is part of our final formula that we derived. So that goes with this change in velocity. That's the first part of that. And so on. And then finally, there's the hardest version of the puzzle. It's you have to type in the answer, so it doesn't give you any prompts. You got to type it in yourself. And that's kind of hard when you have all these formulas, even though you sort of remember what it is. Unless you remember the actual formula, the formatting, you can get into trouble. But let's see how far I can go. Alright, so what is this? This is m times v, and this was m times g times dt. And now here we have where we're going to get some formatting, so I could get into trouble here. So but this is m minus absolute value of dm. I got that right. Well, anyway, unless you know the formatting symbols, you could get into trouble. So I don't use this form of the quiz too much. I use the other form. So let's quit out of there and maximize. I can show them all again. And you set up a quiz by first typing in whatever you want, and then, for instance, suppose I want impulse to be part of my quiz. I don't in this case, but you highlight it and do a Control W for what. What's this? And now that becomes part of the quiz. So I'm going to quit out of here without saving that, because I don't really, well, maybe I do want that to be part of the quiz. If I do, I leave it like that. So that's the quiz. That's how it all started out, and then it just kept adding on to it until we get all sorts of crazy things. So let me think for a second. All right, well that's about it. So if you're interested, I can show you some other modules, and in particular, if you look at Lewin's presentation and are interested in my version of his speed of a bullet experiment, that was a very nice experiment that he does. I'll show you that. So let me know if you're interested in this sort of stuff. See you later.